Grand Rising, True Brit, True Brit News, Why Some Need Me to Be Wrong, Dumb and Stupid, MAGA, Make Albion Great Again. What you're listening to in the background actually is some great British music, a band called Cool Notes. I'm playing it in the background because it's helping me to be inspired in part, but also helping to keep this video short and sweet. So if I don't do a couple of, so you may hear some more great English tunes. They're not English tunes, great British tunes. Lisa Stansford might even pop up. Yeah. So right, anyway, True Brit News today. So if I can keep it focused, I wanted to talk about common law. I've got to find another phrase because I think it seems like the phrase has quite clearly lost all meaning, but it seems to be making a resurgence when you put it in the context as an example of what it is. Turn this down a bit actually. In the context of some of the things that are going on around the world, and I'm again trying to link it to common law here, common law here on these islands. So this birthright stuff that Donald's talking about, as he's getting rid of the deporting the illegal, got so much to say, and the illegal migrants, and as it turns out, migrants and immigrants, right? So it's got massive implications. So I've noticed within what I'm just going to describe as the Windrush generation, within those communities, right? There's lots of fervour. There's lots of activity. Not for me. I'm sand. I know who I am. But what I've discovered within the Windrush generations, I was talking to my mum yesterday, and she's been somewhere. Where did she go? Can I talk about it? Do I want to mention it? No, I'm not going to mention it because I still feel very protective towards myself and towards my family, my kith and my kin. I still feel very protective towards those who know who they are and that they're true Brits, because the people that have been impersonating themselves as true Brits, even the Englishmen, even the WASP, even the Pakistani Muslims, I'll move that way there, the Pakistani Muslims, even the Hindus, even the Punjabi Sikhs, it's turning out, I see, and I think the more that stuff gets revealed about who people really are, and not only that, but over the generations then, since the 1800s then, I want to put something up in there when I'm ready. I just sent out something on my Facebook which describes, let me see if I can find it. It will take the music off actually. Will it? No, I can't, it's on here. That will reveal who the progenitors, the founders of the Pentecostals and the Mormons and the Jehovah's Witnesses and the, what's that one called? See, great British music. He's getting the background there. That's Incognito, Dream on Dreamer. I got some loose ends to play on my playlist. People forget all about these things. It's great British music. Yeah, anyway, I'll come back to that later. So, because this is part of the culture, this is part of the tradition that is being restored just by the fact that I'm talking about it. Britannia. Anyway, I forgot where I was. I'm quite excited about it. So yeah, there's lots of people that are running around, if you like, for me, trying to sort out or trying to cover over. It's a complicated thing. So people that have been claiming to be British, yeah, people that are claiming to be first generation, even Jamaicans. not Jamaicans, but people that have over the years that have been pretending to be Jamaican. You know, let's tell you that they are not Jamaican, but what they will say is that I'm from the Caribbean. Yeah, I don't know any melanated people watching this. You know, I'm from Jamaica, and I make no bones about it. You know what I mean? My parents are from Jamaica, and no, not denying that in any way. But I also know now that my parents, their origins, their forebearers are right here on these islands. Yeah, they are part of the group of people that were exiled from Europe under the guise of this Holocaust thing, and the exiling and the Holocausting and the what's the other word I want to, the ethnic cleansing of Europe has been going on since about the 1400s in full force when that geezer, and his name is Cromwell and his other relative, there's Oliver and there's another one that came after him actually. I think it might be his niece or nephew or whatever it was, his niece. They are the ones that created the situation legally for Charles I. They designed a legal framework, and through blackmail and coercion, coerced the sovereigns on the land at that time into signing up to this contract or this definition, these new set of rules, which meant that because Charles I wasn't doing what it is that Cromwell and the people that he was representing wanted them to do, and wouldn't allow them to take control over Britain, yeah, and turning it into England, they beheaded him, and beheaded a number of his predecessors and his successors too. That's why Charles II was running around all over the place, trying to recruit people to resist Cromwell and his cronies. And at the same time, I'm going to have to get the dates right for this, but I know that around the 1700s, that's when the House of Orange tried to move in on these islands. Okay, the House of Orange are the Dutch. So there's a Dutch lot before the German lot came in, and they've both been trying to usurp. Now, usurp the Britons, the true Brits, the true Albanians. I'm not going to say Albanians, but Albanians. That sounds a bit terrible. At their lands, their titles, their hereditamates, their birthright, essentially, tried to move in on it. And that's what's happened. That's what's still currently going on. But since Donald Trump has said, right, deport everybody, and also the thing that's going on in Israel, if you listen carefully to what it is that he said that he wants all the Palestinians to go back, to go away, so they can clean the place up, make it look like nice and Riviera-ish, and pretty. And he's asked Jordan and Egypt and somewhere else to take them in. He also said, if you listen very carefully, you need to look to history. See, and that's what we don't like doing history. If you look to history, the Palestinians that are there now weren't there originally. So what actually Donald Trump is actually doing is restoring that republic as well as all the republics across the globe. Yeah, returning them to their former kingdoms that had been turned kingdoms and empires. Because I could say more about that. I will say that the treaties that were around before Cromwell et al. And the big usurpation took place to remove, if you like, the indigenous and aboriginal of the previous empire, to remove that empire. I forgot what I was going to say then. This one, this piece of music here, I'll just back it up a minute. Another British band. Yeah, you so you got to get level 42. That's what's going on here. You and me. It's level 42, I'm sure it is. It's either them or Kuno or... is it? I'm sure it's a B-side of an A track. Is it level 42? It's not Incognito. It's not High Tension. They were well before. There's another band, British band. I'm sure it's Incognito. Not Incognito. Anyway, lost my train of thought completely. I might have to come back. It's come back to me. What it is, no, it hasn't. But that piece of music that I was trying to work out who it was, couldn't work it out. But this one started playing in the background as well. Shanty. I'm not going to play it for much longer because it's taking me off. So I was talking about sort of the Dutch coming in trying to do their thing from the 1700s, early 1700s, very early actually, 1707, thereabouts. But they were doing stuff from the 1690s, leading into that. Then that lot died out, and then you got the German lot, the German imposters that came in, who are still there to this day. Right now, that's right. I was talking about. That's right. The birthright thing that that Donald Trump is talking about. That's right. And he's talking about the Palestinians. Go away, Jordanians, Egyptians. Please take the people out there, and America's going to go and conquer, take over the place, and rebuild it. Now you see what right, and that's right. You've got to look to history. In history, that place that we are calling Gaza and Israel and all around there, all of that, previously to the Palestinians being there, was the Ottoman Empire and Persia. Yeah, Iran was Persia, but it also has got some connections to that region. And so he's told the Saudis, the Egyptians, the Jordanians, right? Those particularly. If you go back in history, you'll see that actually these places didn't even exist. The Egyptians that are there now, are the same people that are considered as Palestinians. They're the same group, the same. They've got the same phenotypes. They've got the same genetics. They've got the same. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember the term, but in terms of a group of people, a race of people that you would call Arabs or Semites, it's all the same people, and they came into that area that is now called the Middle East, and they were placed there by another group of people that you might want to call the Zionist Jews. So they set up a situation for conflict by moving out because the people that influenced Egypt. If you do any history or archaeological history, people are recognizing that the people that influenced the development of Egypt were in the Sudan. The Sudan has had the crap kicked out of it forever, yeah. And since the creation of Saudi Arabia, Jordan, even Egypt, these are all literally modern day creations by these Zionists, Ashkenazi people, right? And that came in and created this. They've created mischief and mayhem, if you like, that we've been living, and fooled us into thinking that they are the original inhabitants. Yeah. So when Donald says, "Look to history," everywhere. Because everything's been restored back to the way that it was. And I was saying before I got cut off and got distracted, that the treaties that existed before the creation of these new states, like Saudi Arabia, like Jordan, like Qatar, like, what's the other one? Dubai, all of that, they've been encouraged. Saudi Arabia is run by the family of Saud, who were connected to the royal family. they're related. There's a relationship going on here. And equally, the same with the Chinese too. There's a relationship. They're connected to the royal families of Europe, the Chinese and the Asians. They've got people that are basically, they've married into and tried to marry into the original and organic people of those lands in order to take them over. I mean, I've put it a bit simply, but that's what's happening. That's what's happened, and that's what's been uncovered in terms of like how that happened and who did the deed, who's been doing these deeds. And now that it's all starting to come apart, you know, people are starting to having to start looking at history to find the keys to how to resolve these issues. So everybody's feeling great about, and I am too, no doubt, because I see that peace is about to happen, break out all over the shop, and now you can see the resistances to that peace breaking out all over the shop. Yeah, there are a lot of people that are not happy about it, both melanated and non-melanated, across the globe. Nobody wants it, but there are forces beyond your ken, as Sheldon would say. And what we're getting back from the WASP, yeah, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, I'll put this thing up there, and all those people that follow these religions is because those religions, the Mormons, Jesuits, Christianity, all of those, you know, I'm not calling them pagan religions, but like these have been created as a method not having that. I'm going to give you this one though, because this is an old, it's 80s. Again, another British band. Can't remember what they're called now. The track's called Southern Freezer. To come back to me. Went to see them. Pally. Can't remember what they're called. They're called Freeze. The band's called Freeze. Some of the members from this band actually went on to create other bands like, or became part of like things like Jamiroquai. Again, great British music, underestimated, overlooked. You know what I mean? You know. Anyway. So for me, true Brit, in terms of the restoration, it's about knowing your history. Yeah, it's about knowing history. Not my history, not your history, the history that's been written. Talk to your parents. Talk to your grandparents if you've still got them. Talk to your great-grandparents if you've still got them. You know, and you need to be educating the kids about this history, about this music. You know, it's not all been about punks and things and you know and Boy George. And when I look back at that now, I mean, some good music. But when you listen to, say, like Culture Club, damn, it's even in the title, Culture Club, and there were, and just before that, actually, because the Culture Club and that sort of scene came out of the ska and the madness and what were they called? UB40 and which was again reggae-based music that was being created. I remember the Fine Young Cannibals. Hi. Oh, Duke. There was some Terence Trent D'Arby, Finley Quay. Jesus Christ. I mean, I can't remember when this stuff was happening. I think it was the 90s. 80s even. Finley Quay won an award. Good music, interesting. But you see, that's what needs to be, that level of creativity needs to be restored. But it needs to give an account of the history of those times. You know, we're dealing with, you know, during the 80s, UB40, that's the era of Yossa Hughes. You know, the music was, what was it? It's the music of rebellion in some respects. It's talking about what was going on at those times. Now, you see, I'm going to say this. I don't believe Rishi Sunak, Priti Patel, What's that? What was that other one? Braverman. Damn. And she revealed yesterday. What did she say? Where are her parents from? Her parents are, guess what? Well, one of them is anyway. Mauritius. And that's me. So she's banging on about the Chagos Islands. You know, Britain has to give them back. The UK has to give them back. The UK is different to Britain. The UK is a corporation. Yeah, and it's the corporation that has bought or invested in, saying that they have sovereignty to somewhere that is over 1,000 miles away. And then they want, you know, and now they're pissed off because they're having to lease. Mauritius is saying, yeah, you can lease it if you like, you know, it's no, you know what I mean, and put things on it, a military base on it, but it's not yours. It's ridiculous to think that you've got sovereignty over something that you can't have sovereignty over. You can't own land. You can't buy and sell people shit. And the English wasp just not having it. If you watch GP, they are so upset. How dare they do Keir Starmer? He has to give it up. He has to give it because it wasn't his in the first place. It doesn't belong to this place. We used to have some agreements with them, but they were about trade. They weren't about building bomb, you know, sites in which you can land airplanes, give strategic benefit to people who are basically warmongers. So they can land their airplanes, build their bombs, put the bombs on the planes, take off and go and bomb somewhere else in the world, like the Middle East. It's strategic to the Middle East. Just to fly up the coast, boom, you can drop some shit on there. And then you can bring them in from Eastern Europe and Western Europe or Ukraine where they've been building shit. You know what I mean? Now, that era's over and done with. Warmongering shit, we've had enough. You've seen the pictures. I wonder if I could put some up here. You've seen some of the pictures. 22 minutes. I didn't want to be doing that long. These are long tracks, aren't they, really? Okay. We've had enough of the warring, the killing of children, killing of innocents for profit. You're monsters. And Donald's had enough of it too. Yeah, he may be looking to make a few quid out of it, or that's what it looks like on the surface, because that's the only thing that the West is interested in, is money. Yeah, because that money leads to, if you can take other people's shit off them and say that it's yours, then you've got them by the short and curlies. Till the next time, may your ERP and your spirituality remain strong. Weekend girl. Damn. Can't even remember who this is. SOS band. Damn. See? I mean, they're American. But like, I think it spawned maybe Luther. No, that's change. Anyway, till the next time, may your ERP and your spirituality remain strong. I'm gone.